Oh, it's lit. We prime time. Subscribe, like, and share. Give us your feedback. Yo, I'm Manny at the plate and Kobe off a steal. Gretzky for the goal and Brady at the wheel. I'm a game changer, the Osaka of the tennis. And breaking scoreboard, Simone of the Olympics. Defense and big business, the Mayweather who way better. From the greatness of Jim Brown, I've been down. Talking sports before I was off the porch. Screaming Bo knows while Jordan was playing horse. Late 80s getting torched by the drive and the shot. 2016 got a ring off the three in the block. They eased to forgot the cardiac kids. Price and Doherty, Bale in the Indian years. This who it is. Your host DeeTrynt, yo, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer. Yo, your host DeeTrynt, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer.
DeeTrynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, in the street sports. Man, what's really good, okay? All right, it is February 10th, 2022. It is now 11:15. All right, we only got an hour, 75 minutes left in the day. And it's been a crazy one. This night might be the nicest, but it's going to be your favorite one. You know what I mean? Because the NBA trading deadline was today. And, it was relatively quiet all up until about 3-4 days ago when the Cleveland Cavaliers traded for Caris LeVert right before they played the Indiana Pacers. All right. I'll take this as a time to give you a reminder that the 75th, is it the 75th? Well, it's the annual All-Star Game. It's coming up next weekend in Cleveland, Ohio, where they will be celebrating the 75 greatest players ever. LeBron James returns home with his All-Star team. All right, going against Kevin Durant All-Star team. Kevin Durant will not play. Draymond Green will not play. They are both subbed in by DeJounte Murray for Draymond for the West and Jason Tatum for Kevin Durant in the East. All right. Darius Garland will be playing with LeBron James on that team. Cleveland is going to be outrageous. Okay? So make sure you tune in. Make sure you get your tickets. Cleveland, I'm just saying, represent for the city. 75th All-Star, you know what I'm saying? They celebrating the legends, man. Make sure y'all show out and represent Cleveland in a good way, all right? We want more All-Star games more often. We want a lot more sporting events that make us look good, all right? You know what I'm saying? Do us proud, all right? We want to have nice things. Um, you know, and while I'm talking about that, before I just kick off, I get off work. And I kind of forgot that today they did the All-Star picking your lineups, all right? And TNT is hosting it with Ernie Johnson, the legendary Hall of Famer Ernie Johnson, and also the other Hall of Famers, Shaquille O'Neal, Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith, all right? And they're in their studio, and up on the big screen is LeBron James and Kevin Durant talking about picking their team. We all know that Charles Barkley speaks his mind. And tonight he was funny. And LeBron, being just the great passer that he is, was really taking this time to throw a lot of jabs at KD. And for people who not understanding why, you got to understand, regardless of what type of scrutiny or criticism you try to give LeBron, LeBron has one of the best, if not the greatest, NBA resume ever put together. And this is a conversation that we're going to be having when he retires, because y'all don't like giving people their flowers while they're here. He is going to arguably finish top 5, top 7 in every major fucking category, with the exception of blocks. But he might even still finish top 10 in blocks. Definitely top 15. All right. Kevin Durant has been linked to LeBron James for how long? And Kevin Durant, granted, he threw his jab back at, it being in Cleveland, because, when Durant came back with the Warriors, they beat LeBron and them. But LeBron still got a fantastic resume. And as good as Kevin Durant is, he don't got LeBron resume. Just period. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, they picked their squads, they throwing their jabs. I'll get back to that later, you know what I'm saying, before we end it. I'll touch back on that in the All-Star select. But anyway, the Cleveland Cavaliers, they jumped off the trading deadline with a miraculous trade. All right. And I did it. I came in and did a little podcast about that. Make sure y'all check that out. Follow DeeTrynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, InDaStreetzSportz, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Radio Public. You know what I'm saying? YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Follow me, DeeTrynt. Follow InDaStreetzSportz. You know what I'm saying? We talked about how the Cavs were going to play Indiana on this past Sunday. The 6th, I believe that is. And right before, they're literally at the arena, and the Cavaliers pull off the trade for Caris LeVert. All right. Now, the Cavs acquired Caris LeVert without giving up anything, which was really the most craziest thing about this trade. They gave up 3 picks that don't really matter for real for this upcoming season, and 1 in the future that's probably not going to matter then either. And that was a 2nd-round pick. They gave up Ricky Rubio and his contract. Well, really just Rubio's contract, because Rubio ain't playing for the rest of the year. They got back a 2nd-round pick and Caris LeVert. So they still got 2 2nd-round picks in this draft, which Kobe Altman has become the 2nd-round king, and his executive of the year run right now in 21-22 NBA season. All right. So, adding him without giving up nothing but that really adds to the team. And it put the NBA on notice. The Cavaliers have a top, and I'm going to just say, because it's always, everything is so fluid nowadays. The Cavaliers have a top 3 defense, top 5 for sure, top 3 for real, arguably the best defense, but definitely top 3 to 5. And a top 20 offense that is missing their leading scorer, young bull. You know what I'm saying? Colin Sexton. They still got young Maestro. You know what I'm saying? This is what I call him. Darius Garland, I call him young Maestro. You got young bull and young Maestro. I think that's gonna rock, because he be running the show, don't he? What? All right. What you missing, Colin Sexton? You add Caris LeVert, who's ultimately a bigger version of Colin Sexton. You know what I'm saying? He can pass a little better. But he ain't the dog young bull is. Don't get me wrong, Caris LeVert a dog, but young bull is something different. You know what I'm saying? Like, young bull one of them ones. You know what I'm saying? And he young. So now, whenever young bull comes back, you got Caris LeVert to go with him. You can sign Caris LeVert to an extension. People talk about, how the Cavs gonna be able to sign him. I'm gonna just run through this real quick. Damian Lillard, as a max player, makes $50 million a year. That's just one. A team can sign 3 max players. You can get a super max player, you can get a max player, an all-star max, and then you can get You can get like a superstar max, a star max, and then an all-star max. It's like 3 levels of the max. All right. Which is ultimately, one is up to $50 million a year. The other one is up to like $30 to $35 million a year. And the other one is like $25 million a year. 20 to 30, 25 to $30 million a year. So ultimately, that's 50, 85, $110 million dedicated to 3 players. The Cavs, nobody on the Cavs deserves a max contract. And I don't say that to be insulting. This is a young team who is still growing. All right. Long as they getting paid, they still got, in 5 years, they'll all be in their primes. With the exception of Caris LeVert, because Caris LeVert will be in his 30s. But we don't even got to give him a 5-year deal. We can just sign him for another 3-year deal. And we can give him $20 million a year. We can give Darius Garland $20 million a year. We can give Colin Sexton $20 million a year. That's only $60 million a year. Okay. Kevin Love getting $30 million a year, so that's 90. Okay. Jared Allen getting $20 million a year, so that's 110. Okay. Laurie Marketing getting 16, almost $17 million a year. So that's what, 127? All right. Caris LeVert just walked in with his contract. He getting almost $19 million a year right now. You know what I'm saying? But you can re-sign him for 20, give him like 3 years at $20 million. That's like 60. Might even give him 65. You could definitely give Young Bull and Garland and Darius Garland 125 apiece for 5 years and give them both $25 million a year. You don't got to worry about re-signing Allen for a whole another 4 years. Mobley contract ain't up for another 3 years. Marketing ain't due to be re-signed for another 3 years. So you can literally lock everybody in this season because the salary cap is going to grow. And all the other players on your team that you use don't take up a lot of contract. Rondo getting what, like 7-8 million? Chetty Osman getting about 9-10 million. So even if you out there for 10 million a piece and you put that at 20 million, that's still 147 million that the Cavs are spending right now. The fucking salary cap right now is like 189 million, 182, 189 million, some shit like that. So the other players that you feeling on your roster is Lamar Stevens, Dean Wade, you know what I'm saying? Ed Davis. You know what I'm saying? So ain't none of them guys really like, so, the Cavs might be a little big because they still got a couple guys on the hook. But my whole point about this is the Cavs can literally retain a whole team. People keep, they got to trade Sexton and woody. No, they don't. The Cavs are trying to win championships. They're not trying to play for play-ins. They're not trying to play to just know. This is not the 90s Cavs. This is the post-LeBron Cavs. LeBron set a standard in Cleveland. People keep ignoring that. Y'all try to ignore the first 8 years of his career. All right? When LeBron played for the Cavs from his second season all the way up to when he left. So we talking from the 04, 05, the 03, because he got drafted 03, so 03, 04. So from the 04, 05 season to the 09, 2010 season when he left and went to Miami, the Cavs won at least 50 games a year. That is 6-7 years straight of 50. So that is a good organization. That is a good team. Yes, they were dysfunctional. LeBron left. We acquired some pieces. They came back. LeBron left for 4 years. He came back and played for 4 years. The Cavs went to the finals every year he was here. So the Cavs have set a different level of excellence that people are not giving them credit for because they so used to Cleveland being Cleveland. And this has to get recognized. You know what I'm saying? So right now, they acquired Caris LeVert. All right, they got the triple towers. They got Tower City down there. Kevin Love off the bench playing out his mind. Chetty Osman, Cavs draft pick, one of the prime example of Kobe Altman with him being, he's developed players. You know what I'm saying? Um, I mean, the Cavs have put the entire league on notice, is what I'm getting at. When the Cavs acquired Caris LeVert, that let everybody in the league know that the Cavs are serious. They're not coming to just be okay. They're contending for a championship. Having a top 3 defense with a top 20 offense that's deprived of a lead scorer who's injured for the season and just may return for the playoffs. Now you add another 20-point game scorer who don't have to come in and have to be the guy. He just has to be himself. Oh my God, bro. The whole fucking league went crazy. All right, you seen the tweets. If you on Twitter, you on social media, you seen the tweets. Oh shit. The Cavs serious. Which leads me to today and yesterday when it comes to trading. All right. So we're in the Eastern Conference. All right. And we're in a division with the defending champion Milwaukee Bucks. And the Milwaukee Bucks are looking at their division, who's gotten better with Chicago, who should be a pretty good team with Indiana, but they're doing some things. And a Detroit team with the number 1 pick in the previous draft. You know what I'm saying? That's, got a nice coach down there in Dwayne Casey and really got some pieces. You got the East, where we get to the biggest trade of the day. Since I'm going to go to the Eastern Division. Because I was just in the Central of the East. Let's go to the East of the East. Or is that the North of the East or the South of the East? The North of the East. The Northeast of the East. Which consists of Brooklyn, Philadelphia, the Knicks, and the Celtics. The Knicks did absolutely nothing. So what do we make of the Knicks doing nothing? Nothing, because we're used to the Knicks not doing nothing. Nothing to really change that now. They're not doing nothing. But Boston, before I get to the big trade, Boston made a few nice moves. All right. Where Boston traded First they traded Romeo Langford. Let me pull this up. Let me let me not do that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't as young. I ain't as young as I used to be. Okay. Sometimes, when you get older, you gotta do things the right way. So that way, you don't miss nothing. All right. Trades here. All the trades. All right, boom. So no, let's go to Boston. We gonna go straight to Boston. So Boston trades to the Spurs. They acquire Derek White. That's guard Derek White. And if I'm not mistaken, they traded Romeo Langford. Let me go to this thing. Here we go. All right. So Josh Richardson, Romeo Langford, a first-round pick, top 4 protected in 2022, and the rights to a pick swap in 2028 in the first round. And they get guard Derek White from the San Antonio Spurs. Now, let me say this about the Spurs. Because the Cavs just played the Spurs like yesterday. And DeJounte Murray, Kevin Vassell, and Keldon Johnson, man, that's a nice trio of point guard to small forward. And you can interchange a little bit, especially with Vassell and Keldon. But you can move DeJounte at either one of those spots. They got Zach Collins. They still got Podol. I would not be surprised at all if San Antonio made a little noise. I ain't saying that they might be in the play-in, but I wouldn't be shocked if they did make it to the play-in because with Greg Popovich, he's been coaching those guys for a minute, you know what I'm saying, and they're putting pieces together because they made another trade too as well. But, getting Josh Richardson over there to go with the team they got, Romeo Langford can now play because he can play a little point guard too. I think you'll see a nice resurgence in his career, and they got a chance to add up. I think the Celtics definitely got better. They also made another trade, the Celtics, with the Houston Rockets, where they traded Dennis Schroeder. Here we go. Dennis Schroeder, formerly Enos Kanter, called Enos Freedom now, and Bruno Fernando to the Rockets, and they got back Daniel Tice. Now, this is what I like about what Boston did, and this is also what I like about they make up their roster right now. So, and I'm telling you what this tells me also. I think that Ume Udoka, who is now the head coach over there in Boston. I think he's settling on the fact that he's going to have to run Tatum at the 4 and Jaylen Brown at the 5. This is, not at the 5, at the 3. Jaylen at the 3 and Tatum at the 4. And then move them down when they want to let them freelance and run their own lineup. You move them down and build around them. I think that's smart, especially with the acquisition of Derek White, because they still have Peyton Pritchard off the bench. I'm more than sure that they made these moves knowing they can get a guy in a buyout. So I wouldn't be surprised if a guy like Gary Harris ended up over there. I wouldn't be surprised if a guy like Eric Bledsoe ended up over there either. Now they could do something like bring Smart off the bench and still start Al Horford at the 4. But I think by grabbing Daniel Tice, I think they're saying they're going to start Robert Williams or start Horford. Well, I think they're going to start Robert Williams and bring Horford off the bench. Then you can start, like I say, Tatum at the 4, Jaylen at the 3, and then you can play Derek White at the 2 or Derek White at the 1. Whichever, or Marcus Smart at the 1 and the 2, however it go. That's a tough lineup because all of them play decent enough defense with with Robert Williams, Jaylen Brown, and Marcus Smart being really like solid one-on-one and team defenders. Good, basic, well, not two ways, but definitely solid defenders. So, having that at the 1, 3, and 5, and then allowing a Derek White and a Jason Tatum to kind of just get off, that's going to be heavy in the East. And like I say, these Cavs with these triple towers, boy, they ain't nothing to be playing with, all right? So I like what Boston did here. Like I said, they got to come off with the bench. I think that's going to be the lineup because they can come off with Peyton Pritchard, who's played well. They still got Aaron Neesmith, who can stretch the floor and can play well. They still got Grant Williams they could play. And now they got a rotation of big men because they could just play them one at a time. You know what I'm saying? They could play Robert Williams, then rotate him between Daniel Tice and Al Horford, guys who's been on this team, know how to play, know how to win in the playoffs. I think this was a playoff move. Whether they get in the play-in or not, Boston is a dangerous team. And in a 7-game series with guys who've been going to the playoffs virtually their whole careers, that's going to be very dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, the Spurs, I like the move the Spurs made. So let's go to the big trade, though, because I've been doing all this and I ain't talked about the trade mostly everybody talking about. And that's probably why I put it off, which is the Harden for Ben Simmons trade. Now, when I first heard this trade, I said, boy, Brooklyn got over. Brooklyn got over. But then I thought about it. Daryl Morey knew what was going. I was critical of Daryl Morey. I am a guy who I am wrong. I am wrong. And I think I came on about 4 or 5 episodes, maybe 6, 7 episodes before this one. And I said, you know what? I understand why Daryl Morey doing what he's doing. I don't think he should hold out to the end of the year, but with everything going on, he was smart, and I bravo. But now I'm thinking Daryl Morey set this shit up since last year. He set it up. I'm gonna take you through the timeline. Daryl Morey steps down. Wait, first off, Russell Westbrook, James Harden go to upper management and say they want to be moved. Daryl Morey steps down. The 76ers GM get fired. Daryl Morey stays off for about a month. Then he goes and gets hired in Philly. He leaves it to his boy who was running up under him. His boy facilitates the trade that moves Harden and gets him to Brooklyn. And Brooklyn gave up all those picks. Harden half-ass play for Brooklyn. Timed it just right to get up out of there. Daryl Morey knew having Ben Simmons would get him James Harden from any team. So, yes, I'm saying Daryl Morey set this. Him and James Harden had this shit planned from go. From the beginning of last offseason, they had this shit planned. Right after him and Russell ain't work, right when they get to the playoff, you see when him and Russell wasn't going to work, they had this shit planned. All right? But let me tell you what the trade is. And I'm going to tell you and keep further explaining why they plan this shit out. Brooklyn gets Ben Simmons, center Andre Drummond, guard Seth Curry, and 2 first-round picks, a 2022 first round, which they could defer to the second round if they so want to keep that pick this year. They can hold it off and give it to them in 2023. And a 2027 first-round pick that's top 8 protected. The 76ers in return get Paul Millsap and James Harden. Now, why do I like this for both teams? For one, because even though Daryl Morey set this shit up, he at least compensated Brooklyn for being a bystander of the situation. And he blessed Brooklyn too. I'm one person who thinks that Ben Simmons gonna come out and show his ass. He gonna be shooting threes. Ben Simmons gonna go to Philly on March 10th and hit 7 threes. Watch. He gonna go and hit 7 threes. And Ben Simmons playing with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant and he can literally just do what he want to do. He can drive as much as he want to because when Joe Harris come back, that's just gonna let him be able to spread the floor even more. He is a defensive monster. He can guard 1 through 5. I'm pretty sure this whole time he been getting stronger. He been hearing all the criticism. You feel me? I was one person who understood why he wanted to get out of Philly. Philly is fucking dysfunctional. No offense, but Philly done fucked up draft picks and been fucking up draft picks for about the last 15 years. You know what I'm saying? I mean, as a Cleveland fan, I ain't got too much room to talk. Cleveland been fucking up draft picks too. But Philly been getting gold. And they just been, I don't even know. All right. But, Ben Simmons want to play free. He want to enjoy his life. You know what I'm saying? Philly a historical place, but it ain't nothing like living in Brooklyn, bro. And if you ain't never been to Brooklyn or stayed in Brooklyn or woke up day in and day out in Brooklyn, you don't really know how good it is to be up there. You feel? You know what I'm saying? So I understood. All right. You get Andre Drummond, which helps Brooklyn because, they had was Claxton and Aldridge and Blake Griffin. But Aldridge and Blake Griffin are 4s. They're not 5s. You need a 5. Ben Simmons can play any position. But you can use him with a depth lineup at the 5, and he could be your Draymond Green at the 5. 6'10", can defend and run the point and finish at the rim. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know, you could run. Man, they might do some shit like, bro, this shit gonna be so funny. They gonna have a lineup of Simmons at the 5, Blake at the 4, um, Durant at the 3, Joe Harris at the 2, and Kyrie at the 1. Bruh, this nigga's gonna be unguardable. Then they gonna come off the bench with Patty Mills and LaMarcus Aldridge and Cam Thomas. You know what I'm saying? Seth Curry. You know what I'm saying? Like, bruh. Hey, bruh. Brooklyn got a little squad. All right. You know what I'm saying? And they got some picks that's gonna help them out. Once again, Daryl Morey, you a savvy MF boy. I give you your piece, you know what I'm saying, for orchestrating this and having this plotted out a long time ago. I give you credit for that because, bruh, you love James Harden. But pairing James Harden with Joel Embiid, like, bruh, that's different. That's different, bruh. Like, we can talk semantics all we want to, bruh. But Embiid is the MVP of the league right now. Or he definitely in the running with the reigning MVP who's playing like lights out right now. Jokic is playing crazy right now. You know what I'm saying? But James Harden and Joel Embiid in the East, bruh. Like, take your emotions out of this for a minute, bruh. Philly killing them right now. Why am I saying that? Philly still has Tobias Harris, Matisse Thybulle, Tyrese Maxey, Danny Green, Joel Embiid. They just added Paul Millsap. Let me tell you how this gonna go. Joel Embiid is gonna run the point. Tyrese Maxey is gonna come off the bench. All right, hold on. Let me pull a roster up right quick. You know what I'm saying? Let me pull a roster up right quick. Okay. They are going to run. Mark my words. They're going to run Harden at the 1, Danny Green at the 2, Tyrese, Matisse Thybulle at the 3, Tobias Harris at the 4, and Joel at the 5. And I'm about to tell you how this about to work. Joel Embiid gonna be setting fucking Harden picks, or it's gonna be Tobias Harris, and all that shit unguardable. I don't think y'all understand. James Harden coming down off the top or anywhere on the perimeter, and he gets a good ass screen from Joel Embiid. The moment that your body touches Embiid's body, you are already at a disadvantage. That's anybody. Bro, the best two defenders ever is not stopping that on a consistent basis. Harden literally could shoot any jump shot or take you to the hole and finish with either hand through traffic. Joel Embiid can do the same thing. He could pick and pop. He could pick and roll. He could pick and pass. He could pick and dribble. There is no stopping that. It is very possible that you might have multiple games towards the end of the season or before their season is out. Definitely in the upcoming seasons when they re-sign both of these cats. You're going to see both of these cats drop 50 in a game, if not multiple games. Mark my words. They going to do 40 and 40 for sure, but you're going to see 50 and 50. You're going to see 50 and 50. Especially on a team like the Blazers. And that's no disrespect to Chauncey Billups, bro, because Chauncey my boy. But he don't got nothing on that damn roster that's going to stop that. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, my guy is bad, bro. Let me speed this up. All right, so that trade is crazy. All right, we gonna get into these other little trades right quick before we end it off. Surprising trades: Kristaps Porzingis and a future second round pick get moved from Dallas to Washington for Spencer Dinwiddie and Davis Bertans. All right. Why do I like this move? Why am I not tripping off this move? Because they re-signed Dory Finney-Smith. Luka's going to play the point. If people don't know, Spencer Dinwiddie doesn't want to play point guard. He wants to play two guard. That was his whole issue with Brooklyn. He want to play the two. He don't want to play the one. That's why him and D'Angelo Russell couldn't get along. D'Angelo don't want to play the one. He want to play the two. You know what I'm saying? They both want to do the same thing. And that's probably his issue was in Washington. How him and Bill couldn't get along because he want to play the two. So now you send him over here where Luka Doncic is a one. Spencer Dinwiddie can play the two. I think is Tim Hardaway Jr. out? I think Tim Hardaway Jr. injured. Is he injured? Yeah, I think Tim Hardaway out for the year. Yeah, so, but they lose Tim Hardaway for the year. All right. So you bring in Spencer Dinwiddie, you get Davis Bertans, you move on from Kristaps Porzingis. People wondering why they moved on from Kristaps Porzingis. Porzingis and Porzingis and Luka wasn't getting along no way. So now you give Luka a chance to spread the floor. You know, Bertans gonna spread the floor. You can start Spencer Dinwiddie. You still got Reggie Bullock. You got Marquise Chris. I think Josh Green is coming on and just fine. You got Maxi Kleber. You got Dwight Powell. So you got big men that you can rotate. You just needed somebody else on that perimeter that's gonna help put up points. And Spencer Dinwiddie gonna put up points. I would not be shocked to see Dallas do something nice. Now for the Wizards, you can call this a head scratcher, but I would not. All right. the fact that you got Kristaps Porzingis and you just pair him with Bradley Beal, that's raw. My only question is Bradley Beal gonna play the point and Kristaps gonna play the 5, or are they gonna play the 2 and 4? Because that means a lot. They do got Cassius Winston down here though, who's a good point guard. And I think it might be time to let him play and see what he can do. Because if he can come in and be that defensive facilitator, you know what I'm saying, that can get buckets off the dribble and create for others like he did when he was in Michigan State. I think you got something. You got Nito. They probably gonna draft one, but they brought back Ish Smith, who played really good from them and kind of resurrected his career with them. So they also got they got Ish Smith, Washington got Ish Smith back, him and Vernon Carey Jr. because they traded Montrezl Harrell to the Charlotte Hornets. All right, we ain't got there yet, but I just want to put that out there because I'm talking about Washington. Washington still got Thomas Bryant. They got Daniel Gafford. You know, so I could easily see Kristaps playing the 4. You would question what does that do for Rui Hachimura, but I think him as a backup 4 is not a bad thing. Kyle Kuzma is definitely going to play the 3 most likely. It's all about Contavious Caldwell Pope will probably be the odd man out, or he'll have to accept a role off the bench unless Bradley Beal is cool with playing the point. But I think Bradley Beal wants to play the 2. And having him at the 2 with Kuzma at the 3 and Kristaps Porzingis at the 4 is retarded, bruh. I wouldn't be shocked if that's a team that tries to hunt after Colin Sexton in the offseason, which is why I'm pretty sure we about to lock Colin up with a nice contract. That's another conversation in itself, too. But I'm not mad at what Washington did. I think they're sending a message that they want to keep their star player, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to get, to get people over there with a star player. All right. The Bucks made a nice trade. All right. So the Bucks trade Dante DiVincenzo, Trey Lyles, and Josh Jackson to Sacramento Kings. It's a 3-team trade. The Detroit Pistons, who Trey Lyles and Josh Jackson came from, get Marvin Bagley, and the Clippers get Rodney Hood and Semi Ojeleye because why did it? Wait a minute, something not right. Josh Jackson was. I thought him, man. Oh wait, I'm tripping because it's a 4-team trade. I'm tripping. Okay, so Serge Ibaka was with the Clippers. He now goes to the Bucks. Rodney Hood, Semi Ojeleye, and Dante DiVincenzo was on the Bucks. So Dante goes to Sacramento. Rodney Hood and Semi Ojeleye goes to the Clippers. Trey Lyles and Josh Jackson goes from Detroit to Sacramento. Sacramento gets Marvin Bagley. And then Milwaukee gets 2 first-round picks in cash. So I think they get 2 future second-round picks in cash. So I think they got a second-round pick from Sacramento and a second-round pick from Detroit, and then cash considerations from the Clippers for Serge Ibaka's contract probably or some shit like that. Whatever the case, though, I like this move for multiple reasons. One, the Clippers definitely trying to win right now, or at least stay relative. I think Rodney Hood and Semi Ojeleye are on the last year of their deals, are not fully guaranteed deals. So I wouldn't be surprised if those are just, cap casualties. Marvin Bagley going to the Detroit Pistons is fire. You got Bagley about to play with Cade and Killian. I'm gonna see what Jeremy Grant didn't get moved. So, maybe he get moves in the off season, or maybe he likes this team now and he buys in. But if he does, Cade, Grant, Sadiq Bey, With Marvin Bagley, Killian Hayes, that's fire, bro. I like what the Pistons did. Serge Ibaka going to the Bucks, that's crazy. And they get 2 future second round picks. They free up at least 2 more roster spots. I would not be surprised if Eric Bledsoe went back to the Bucks. Because if you put Eric Bledsoe next to Drew Holiday, then you could really put Drew Holiday at the 2, and you could still have 2 nice defensive guards to go with Giannis, and it allows Chris Middleton to be a little more free. Getting Serge Ibaka really adds to their rotation, especially with Bobby Portis playing heavy minutes with Brook Lopez being out. Whenever Brook Lopez comes back, that shit gonna be retarded, bro. Because even if they start Portis and you coming off the bench, uh, you know, with who Milwaukee got off their bench? Let me go to their team right quick. They gonna come off the bench with oh hell yeah, they gonna come off. Okay, so you start. I'm saying because Grayson Allen been playing raw, and they got Jordan Noah, Jordan Norwer, and they brought back Greg Monroe. But how I'm looking at it is, you bring back Bledsoe. I don't think it's the wrong thing. You stay him started at the point. You know what I'm saying? You start him with Drew at the 2. Boom. Then you come off the bench with George Hill, Grayson Allen, Pat Connaughton, Serge Ibaka. You still got Wesley Matthews, and then Brook Lopez. I mean, they the defending champs for a reason. You know what I'm saying? I think they got better with this trade, in my opinion. Um, so the other part of this deal, the Sacramento Kings. Let's talk about the Sacramento Kings. The Sacramento Kings went fucking nuts these last 2 days. The Sacramento Kings arguably had the most active and the most confusing. Well, it's confusing to everybody else. It's not confusing to me, especially with the trade they made today. Now, listen, ain't nobody expecting them to end up on a 21-game winning streak or some shit like that. But I would not be surprised to see a turnaround in this team in the second half of the season. First off, they traded Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, and something else for Domantas Sabonis. Oh, and Tristan Thompson. They traded Tyrese Halliburton, Tristan Thompson, and Buddy Hield to the Indiana Pacers for Domantas Sabonis, Jeremy Lamb, and Holiday. I think it was Aaron Holiday or Justin Holiday, Justin Holiday. All right. People tripping on why they did this. Then they got Dante DiVincenzo. For all those who not paying attention, I want you to understand what Alvin Gentry is trying to do. At least this is my guess. All right. You have Harrison Barnes at the 3. You really want to move on from Harrison Barnes, but ain't nobody taking that contract. So he gonna have to ride it out. And I think he only got 1 more year left on that joint. But even though he plays nice for you at the 3, I mean, even though you want him to play the 3, he plays nicer for you at the 4. Pairing Domantas Sabonis with De'Aaron Fox was a raw move, bruh. I know a lot of people mad that Tyrese got traded from the Kings, and they feel like the Kings gave him a raw deal. But in my personal opinion, it was just smart. You know what I'm saying? Tyrese over there, he's playing, and then Indiana traded Torrey Craig back to Phoenix and got Jalen Smith. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Smith, nice. But That team right there with Indiana, uh, uh, Chris Duarte, Tyrese Halliburton, Malcolm Brogdon, Buddy Yield, Jalen Smith, Miles Turner, T.J. Warren when he comes back. That is a nice ass team, and they got picks, so they can make some moves. So don't think this the end of Indiana, and don't be surprised if they play a little playoff spoiler for some positions with this team because they're gonna play with a lot of fire. But now you can run. Let's go back to the Kings. You can run DeMontis. You can run Sabonis at the 5, De'Aaron at the 1. You can back Sabonis up with Rashad Holmes. So that gives you stability at your center position, and you still got Damian Jones to rotate. You got De'Aaron Fox and Davion Mitchell, who is clearly your point guards. All right. You can argue they still need another point guard, but you can find a veteran that you could pick up, a DJ Augustine, a Gordon Dragic, and that's gonna be cool. But you need wings. All right. You need guys who willing to score and got attitude. Dante DiVincenzo, Terrence Davis, Justin Holiday, Jeremy Lamb. Now, I don't know if they're going to keep Lamb and Holiday, but all of these guys can score and play a little defense. And all of them got a jumper. They might not got the best jumpers, but they got them. I think that fits well in the middle. Trey Lyles is a stretch 4. You know, Maurice Harkless is there. They can do a lot of different things with their wings, having stability at the point guard in the center. And I think that's how Alvin Gentry looked at it. I can rotate Fox and Davion Mitchell to keep my point guards fresh, and then I can rotate Sabonis and Rashad Holmes. And then if I need to run Sabonis at the 4, I still got Alex Lynn. You know what I'm saying? If I run him at the 5, I could put, uh, Harrison Barnes at the 4, Harkless at the 3. I ain't mad at what they did. I think they made a move to, secure, like, hey, we here, we trying to do something. We trying to make the team better. The NBA trading deadline was definitely a dually today. I don't really see where some teams really lost. Thaddeus Young got sent to the Raptors with Drew Ebanks in exchange for Gordon Dragic and some picks. Thaddeus Young with that Raptors team is a nice pickup. If Thaddeus come to play and not be trying to be on that Jamal Crawford route. I think that's a nice pickup with them. I think he fits their team, gives them some versatility and flexibility with their 3s and 4s, especially if you're going to run Anunoby at the 2 a little more and rotating him and Gary Trent Jr. Schroeder is going to be a lot of buyouts. You might have Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder might get bought out. DJ Augustine might get bought out. Gary Harris might get bought out. Terrence Ross might get bought out. Mike Muscala could probably get bought out. It's going to be some guys available. So, this is going to be probably one of the best playoff runs that we see from the entire NBA in a very long time. The NBA is looking nice right now. Every team got something. I thought Tobias Harris would end up in Oklahoma City. I thought he would have been a nice fit there with that young team. He could have been a number 2 option for sure. I thought that would have been nice, but that's something that might still happen in the offseason because I don't see Tobias Harris staying there. If Philly can get some of them picks, they can do a few things. But I am DeeTrynt. This is Game Changer Sports Talk on InDaStreetzSportz platform. Please follow, like, subscribe, share. Give us your feedback. You want to come on, talk your stuff, rep your team. It does not matter what sports you want to talk about. I love sports. We can talk about Olympics. We can talk about gymnastics. We can talk about the X Games. We can talk about boxing, MMA. We can talk about anything that's got to do with sports because I love sports. WNBA. We talk about it all. We talk about high school sports. It don't matter. I love sports, all right? DeeTrynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, Industry Sports. Thank you for tuning in. It's been a pleasure having you. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe, share. All right, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, uh, Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts. We have a Patreon going in a second. But it's been a pleasure rocking with y'all. Stay dangerous.
Yes, sir.
My motherfucking phone dying.
That's all good. That was a nice one.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, my shit